Welcome to Arcade Couch, the best place to chill with friends and get your gaming goodness each and every Monday. And for video viewers, a pretty little cat. My name's Dylan Blatt, and joining me on the couch this week, Ashley Hopley.
Hey Dylan, excited to be here on Cat Couch. I don't know.
Cat Couch, yeah.
Just
also
threw me off, yeah.
You're like so used to, that's so scripted. He'll never fuck around with the intro. There we go. Also, you Ciaran Hutchins.
Yep, it's me with the cat. I recently saw YouTuber Ludwig Ogren has averaged 1 million viewers thanks to just on his YouTube channel just by posting pictures of his cat on his YouTube channel. So I thought we could capitalize on that with a cat that chose to jump up here of his own fruition, and is not a paid actor.
No, but I feel like the
catnip is currently like out of frame, but yes.
I mean, video viewers, check it out. Like, obviously, if you listen to the audio version, you're missing out.
I mean, video viewers would have seen the cat before.
Yeah,
would have seen the cat like the entire time. Yeah.
It's usually hanging around, but the only worry I have sometimes is I'm like, is a cat's nose as strong as a dog's nose, and can it stop the audio recording? But I'm just gonna hope not.
No, look, a cat's paw could be if he like steps on the space bar, because that's all the dog's nose did was just tap that space bar, and it was just peace out. That was a sad day.
Yeah. And we know the cat would do it because cats are dicks.
Yeah, I feel like the cat would do it on purpose, right?
Pardon?
Cat would do it on purpose. Dog did it by accident.
Yeah, that's fair.
Dogs are good boys. Where is the dog, by the way?
Probably asleep in front of the fireplace.
Okay. I'm so used to like when we record Arcade Couch, it's like
there's one of them just Harley.
One of them like in the back corner.
Yeah, Bella comes in and visits every now and then. Yeah. That's how my life goes. Eventually, sometimes they're just like, nah, fire's nice and warm. We're just gonna lie here and sleep.
Understandable. Feels. Today on the show, Overwatch 2. To talk about it. Going over the Capcom showcase, a bit about the Xbox extended show. But firstly, we're going to dive into Final Fantasy VII. So, what's today? Friday. So early Friday morning, or 8 a.m. It's not really early, actually. But 8 a.m. Friday morning. In comparison to some other things that have been happening. Square Enix held like a little Final Fantasy event. Well, obviously it was a Square Enix event. I don't know. Fucking anyway. We got several things. The main two that we're going to focus on, though, is the sequel.
First Soldier. Let's go, mobile game.
I'm skipping the mobile game stuff. I can't talk about Final Fantasy VII Remake sequel, officially announced. We'll get to that in a second. And the other cool thing was Final Fantasy VII Crisis Core is getting a remake as well. But yeah, there was like an announcement of the mobile game thing. And also, just quick shout out to Final Fantasy VII Remake is on PC as of now. When you're listening to it, it's on Steam.
It'll be on PC now.
Yeah, so you can play it there.
Now,
yeah. So if you haven't played it,
so there was a Buster Sword Clock. That was pretty cool.
It did look pretty cool, but I wouldn't use it.
No, it's at a weird angle.
To be fair, I brought a $50 Buster Blade letter opener just because I thought it was cool. And I certainly don't use it to open letters. It just looks cool.
Because damn emails ruining my use of this letter opener.
Motherfuckers. Press start rights. Square Enix hosted a special Final Fantasy VII 25th anniversary broadcast today, where it finally revealed our first ever look at Final Fantasy VII Remake Part 2, which is called Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. Although calling it the second part of a remake of Final Fantasy VII is seemingly not quite accurate, as the title of Rebirth implies that this is certainly keeping in line with what the first part was inevitably setting up, something of a fresh start for the Final Fantasy VII story. Despite Square Enix officially still calling it the Final Fantasy VII Remake Trilogy, I'll just add a little quick asterisk in here, it was 100% confirmed this is going to be a trilogy. Continuing, it's hard to know exactly what to expect going forward. In the trailer, we see what looks to be part of a flashback from Cloud and Sephiroth's history, implying it's part of Cloud's retelling of the events that occurs further into Final Fantasy VII. We also hear mention of a certain events the original game in the original game that seemingly take a different turn this time around. So you check out that trailer. And then Tetsuro Nomura issued a statement along with it saying Final Fantasy VII Rebirth is being designed so that people can enjoy the game whether they know the original game or not. In fact, new players might even start enjoying their journey might even enjoy starting their journey with Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. Cloud and his friends embark on a new journey in this game, and I believe that the scenes they witness after they leave Midgar will give players a fresh new experience. I can't wait to share the intention behind the name of the first title, Remake, and the second title, Rebirth. In time, I hope to reveal what the third title will be called and where this journey will ultimately lead. Trailer. Well, here's the thing. I want to put it out here now. Unfortunately, I'm not going to, so as someone who's obviously played Final Fantasy VII, and this is the thing that I tried to like dodge spoilers when we was talking about Remake as much as we could until we did our spoiler cards and things like that. And I'm still going to try not to mention stuff that could be in this game and stuff like that. Like I don't want to spoil stuff that could be in this game. But at this stage, now that we're in a world where trailers and news is going to start dropping for this game, spoilers are sort of off for the first game.
There's a particular spoiler that's just fucking...
Yeah. So I'm just putting it out there. Like, at this stage, the trailers are out. We have to talk about this game. If you haven't played Final Fantasy VII Remake, we will, in the future, from now on... I don't want to have to say spoiler warning for trailers, but I just want to say... It's weird because it's a remake, but also it's not really. So, like, we will be discussing Final Fantasy VII Remake, like that game, freely from now on in this podcast. I'm just going to make sure not to mention anything that could be in this game that could change or whatever based on my experience with the original, which is, it's weird. But anyway, so the release date is late next year. So that it's like American winter or whatever, like our summer next year.
For 3.
Sorry?
For Remake 2, sorry.
Yeah,
for Rebirth.
For the, yeah, we'll get to that one. There's a Final Fantasy game coming out this year, but so this is coming out late next year, but that's still cool. Like, I feel like revealing
again, almost.
Hey,
it's winter next winter.
Yeah, their winter.
Yes, which would be December, January, February.
Yeah, so it could be late next year or early the year after, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Yeah. So I still feel like this is a good timeline. We're not going to be waiting like 5 years after they reveal it. Square Enix revealing this about 12 months roughly.
There was also news that they've already started development and work on the third part of this.
Yeah, so they've said, so there's a certain degree of this team that have started like pre-production basically on the third part, which makes sense. I think that's fine. And knowing that it's going to be a trilogy, I think is also good to know, like coming in knowing that it's just going to be 3 of these games. It's fitting considering there's 3 discs for the PS1 release of the game.
Which the first game did pretty much line up with the first disc.
First disc,
not even actually. No.
Not even close.
Not even. Now that I think about it, no, not at all. No.
The first game ends with a certain character's death. The first disc ends with a certain character's death. This trailer, though, I think is really cool. Obviously, the one thing that trailer jumps around is, so you have Cloud walking down a road with like Sephiroth and stuff, and that's presumably a flashback. There are other things I could say, but I won't. Then you've got intercut scenes with like teasing Aerith's death from the first game. That's the one thing I'm not going to say is like a spoiler to say, because like I'm pretty sure that's like a piece of video game history. Like everyone,
even though you just avoided it just then.
No. The other thing I'm dodging is something else.
Oh yeah.
No. But yeah, look, Aerith's death is like a classic video game moment. I feel like everyone knows it from it. It's literally what. Then that's sort of what they're teasing and potentially saying that this game will change. I really like the title. I think the title makes perfect sense because I think we went into a bit when we on our Final Fantasy VII Remake spoiler cast where I was talking about how like remake, it's not a remake of the game, it's a remake of history. Like it's a play on words, because what ends up happening with Final Fantasy VII Remake is when you start the game, you think you're just playing this remake of the beloved PS1 franchise game, and then by the time you get to the end of that game, it's like, oh my god, what the fuck? Like it's not really, it's a sequel to Final Fantasy VII that's redoing the events. Like Sephiroth is like trying to change things, and like all these weird, like it gets sort of convoluted as any Square Enix Final Fantasy game does. But that's good. So remake was a.
That's why it's interesting about the spoiler talk, because maybe it isn't spoilers, because they could go in a slightly.
No, but I feel like there's still key things which the first game showed. There's still key. I think they'll still hit key character events and beats potentially. So there's certain things.
Potentially, I mean, the one they're foreshadowing in this is like, is that going to be one?
No, I think they'll change.
I think they're gonna.
I'm going to say right now, Aerith doesn't die. I'm saying right now, Aerith doesn't die.
I think this game turns into they do everything to prevent her from dying, but in the end, it turns out to be this is a fixed point.
You have to die to save them.
This is a fixed
classic,
point. In
classic alternate dimension sort of like the fixed time thing or something.
Yeah, it's going to be this has to happen. She has to die to continue this. This is no ifs, no buts. It's just a fixed point where it has to happen.
I mean, there's lots of crazy things they could do. Like, and then if they continue the R, it's like, what's the third one like?
Resurrections.
Yeah, I don't know. Something crazy. But yeah, what do you make of the trailer, Ash? Like,
The Rebirth trailer? I think it was solid. It didn't give away a hell of a lot. Looks pretty. It looks like it's going to be more open world, maybe. Or yeah, it's hard to say. There's talk that it's going to be open world ish.
I think it's going to be
because obviously that's
open world, but yeah.
Yeah, because obviously that opens up after.
Yeah, the original game,
whatever.
You have a linear structure in Midgar, and once you leave Midgar, then you're like more open world. Yeah,
so maybe not completely open world, but like different zones or big zones. Like there were reasonably large zones in Midgard as well. So
yeah.
But yeah, it's interesting. I don't know if they're flashbacks or maybe it's like the old part of his imagination thing, in his head. Yeah.
Ciaran, what do you think?
As someone who knows nothing about Fast and Furious lore except for the
Do you say
Final
Fast and
Fantasy
Furious
VII
lore?
match.
You just said Fast and Furious lore.
Final Fantasy lore.
You know the Fast and Furious lore. It's just all about family.
Yeah, I was about to say it's about family. That's the law. Like, what the fuck? Of course, you know. I appreciate that you said that. Like, good. I appreciate that's on your mind.
I mean, it's
very similar. Very similar.
I mean, I'm hoping that's what's happening in the next ones. They just reboot after these next movies. They just reboot it and just completely change.
Yeah, change history.
They're trying to change the events of the first few movies.
Brian doesn't die, and then
oh my god,
no, Brian doesn't get involved. So
Brian doesn't drive. Brian doesn't drive away. Brian's there the whole time.
Yeah, Brian never shows up, so they keep stealing DVD players at the back of things.
And then he goes back in time. And they're like, "No, you have to steal DVD players, or else the world ends." Ciaran, what do you think of the trailer?
I think this trailer is great. To be honest with me, I think anything with this, like continuing this storyline, is just an instant. I'm going to buy it because I think they did such a fantastic job on Remake. It's just exciting. It's a great story. It's a great story how they're changing it, but like reiterating on the foundations that they already had. I'm excited to see more characters. And I still haven't gone back to play Retrograde yet. So.
Neither.
Yeah, it's something I need to do at some point and want to do
before this comes out.
Yeah, exactly, 100%.
Yeah. You've got 12 months.
You've got about a year.
Yeah,
lock it in. I'm definitely keen to find out more, and I think this is going to be really. After I was excited for 7 being a full on remake, and I was someone who definitely like a 7 being one of my favorite games and everything. Like the idea of them remaking 7, I was always aboard that hype train, and I remember when they finally revealed it, I was like losing my mind that one time. The music started.
Which
and everything
time?
Like the first time, like it was before Ian, like pre Ian sort of thing. So I remember sitting at my desk, like what E3, like fucking drinking a Mother Energy drink or whatever. I was just like, I think that was one of the best, like the times I've lost my shit the most over an E3. Like the music started, and I was like, no, like I was like, it's fucking. So, but given what we got wasn't a full-on remake, I'm still very happy because I think it's like it makes the game a lot more interesting.
I think it's better. It's better than a full-on remake. There's
and it opens the door for them to do a remake.
Can you imagine it?
And then it opens the door for them to potentially, even though we don't want them to get into a cycle of just doing it with other Final Fantasy tales, not just the popular ones, not just your
it'll be the popular ones
9s
first,
and
right?
8s and 10s and stuff, but I'd love them to go back and do 6 or do some of the earlier ones, but just bring them back into.
Well, the rumor is 9 because that's the one that was on the NVIDIA GeForce leak thing. So.
Yes, which would make sense. I think 9's a good one to remake.
I'd be down for 9.
Of course you would. 9's your favourite.
I mean, it makes sense
My
because
favourite's
11
11.
meant to take place. 8 continues to 7, right?
Hey,
8 continues on from 7, sort of, right?
No.
it's a completely different thing.
All the Final Fantasies are...
when does Vin Diesel show up? Is one thing.
when the dinosaurs turn up.
The only time a Final Fantasy game is a direct sequel to another is when they...
10-2.
Yeah, so you've got 10-2.
Cloud
10-2.
and 8?
No.
Squall?
No,
Whatever. No.
Squall is a completely different character.
But Squall's a different character.
Completely different
They're
character.
the same character.
No.
Squall is like
Just because they
100%.
meet in Kingdom Hearts does not mean they were ever met in the Final
I was going to say Kingdom Hearts is...
You're like, I saw them. Like, there was Hercules. They fought in the Colosseum, guys. What are you talking about? You're lying to me. I've seen it happen.
Guys? Where's Goofy? I better see that kid's oversized shoes turn up sometime around here.
I fucking love that shit.
Are we surprised that it's not coming to Xbox like the first one?
It's weird when you look at the other thing they announced and the platforms that it's on. It's very like, what the fuck is going on, Square? Do you just not give a fuck?
It's because Sony's buying Square Enix.
I mean, that was my theory. Just chucking out. Why? Here's why it's not coming out next. Here's why it's not coming.
No, I presume
because
obviously Sony had exclusivity for the first part. Maybe they made a deal for the entire run.
Well, they said we made a deal for Final Fantasy VII Remake. You haven't finished remaking it.
Yeah,
so.
yeah.
Motherfuckers, no shot.
Like, we get every game until it's done, and then Xbox can have it all in a complete collection.
Well, the thing is, but they're like, but this side thing that is a spin-off, Xbox, you can have that.
Yeah.
Sure.
So let's get to that. Continuing from press start. Thank you, Ciaran. Not that Ciaran, this other Ciaran. KV. Square Enix hosted a special Final Fantasy VII 25th... original release for PSP in 2007, Crisis Core. So this game's called Crisis Core Final Fantasy VII Reunion. But originally released in PSP in 2007, Crisis Core follows fan favorite Final Fantasy VII character Zack's origins for story and features a unique action RPG combat system. Now Crisis Core Final Fantasy VII Reunion is coming to PS5, PS4, Xbox Series XX, Xbox One, Switch, and PC this summer. According to the Games Official website, this new website includes the following enhancements: remade 3D character models, full voice support, optimized gameplay systems, remade environments and interface, improved character and camera control, UI optimization, the addition of various skips, all new background music arrangements. So I presume I'm the only person who cares about this here, right? Am I presuming correctly?
No, I fucking love Crisis Core.
Did you play it as well?
Yeah.
Okay, here's my Crisis Core story. I was obsessed with this game when it came out, right? Obsessed. I would play it in the back of maths class like all year round. I did. And my maths teacher was like, I have the shit, like I have the dropkick, like actual worst people in the school, like
we've
the bullies.
heard this story before.
Yeah, okay,
I feel
but
like
this is the game. This is the game.
I feel like every time this game comes up, this story is told. This teacher was like, "Man, if you're not going to cause any trouble, sit at the back of the class and just play the game, and you're fine."
But my favorite part is like he's like, I have to deal with these motherfuckers, and they're just like not doing anything and causing a ruckus. You just don't want to do the work, but as long as you pass your tests, you're good. So your boy passed the test and played Crisis Core all year long. Fucking right. That's the story. Moral of the story:
teaching.
It's bad as my dad. I fucking swear. Holy shit.
But yeah, Crisis Core is a great game. So the game, being a PSP and portable game, the thing that I'll be most interested to find out is, although it has a lot of really great story in it, especially when it comes to Zack and his background and stuff like that, is that the mission structure was designed as sort of these mostly 10 to 15 minute hack and slashy sort of things designed around the PSP and all that sort of stuff. So I'm going to be interested to see if they like change any of those around at all, or like design stuff slightly differently. Maybe take some out because it was very grindy, especially like a fuck ton of side missions and all that sort of stuff. So see how that changed. But the combat is actually surprisingly fun. Very simple, but surprisingly fun, especially to pull off like limit breaks and all these sorts of things. The story is really cool. So again, I'm trying to judge. So Zack is, for people who don't know, Zack was like Cloud's partner in Soldier. That's who he talks about in Final Fantasy VII. He is like they two work together, and they knew Sephiroth and all this sort of stuff. But this is Zack's origin story, so you get to see Sephiroth in this as well. This is when Sephiroth is actually a good guy. He's still working for the fuck's the corporation's name?
For Soldier and for
The fuck is I can't remember the actual
Shinra.
My
God.
Shinra. That's
yes.
it. So this is when he's still working for Shinra. You get to meet I can't remember the character's name because he's only in this game, but you get to meet Zack's mentor. So the person he actually gets the Buster Blade sword off.
Mm-hmm.
And then eventually, of course, that ends up in Cloud's hands. So you get to see a lot more lineage behind why that sword means so much to so many people, which is a really cool part of this game as well. There's a lot of I remember maybe they've aged terribly on the PSP, but there's a lot of really epic, like full CG cutscenes in this with people like having epic ass anime fights.
Well,
especially
there was
Sephiroth
already
and shit.
From the trailer, there's already comparison of there's a shot of Aerith going around where comparing that shot to the shot from the trailer, and it's night and day. It looks fantastic. So presuming that it's going to look even better with those scenes as well. This is just the year of PSP games, right? Like we've now got Persona 3, Persona 4 Golden coming to consoles as well. We've now got Crisis Core. But the fucking true.
I mean, just to clarify, it is a different console.
Persona 3 was PSP, but yeah, like it is. Look, if we just get I don't know if there's whatever like Daxter, I'd go for Daxter. If somebody wants to bring Daxter to
PSP had some banger games. Yeah. Ash, as someone who never played the original game, obviously never played this. I don't even know if you've ever seen a PSP in your life. But you played Final Fantasy VII Remake. You liked that. Do you have any interest in this?
I mean, yeah, it's the guy who shows up at a point in the game, right?
I don't actually remember.
Maybe towards the pointy end.
Towards the pointy end? What is that?
Right at the very end. Right at the very end.
Oh, yeah, he does. Right at the very end. Yes, correct. You're right. I just remembered. Yes. I
was trying to be not spoilery.
No, you're right. Yes. I forgot. I was trying to remember how they ended the game. You're right. This is the guy. So, yeah, because I'm thinking they don't have Zack in part 1. But they do, yes. At the very end, Zack shows up. Yes, this is that guy.
Yes, so it's prequels, right? So fill it all in. I'm interested. I mean, get more Final Fantasy VII-esque stuff. Although it's interesting, it looks like the combat system isn't going to be the same as Remake, and you would think they would maybe streamline it, so it would be.
No, it's I guess, but they don't want to take away. Like, if you change the combat system, it's like, what's the game then? Like.
No, I don't think
just
they are.
Mini Final Fantasy
Judging from the trailers, it didn't look like they had changed the.
No, they haven't changed anything. But Ash is saying Ash is saying they should have changed it to be.
Oh fuck no!
No,
you don't just change dream drop distance and fucking remove that shit from the game, do you? No, you probably.
They literally changed the combat from the original to the remake.
I don't know about that one.
I think they were because the combat,
it was a turn-based role-playing game, and then they made it an action RPG game.
Yeah, we jury's still out on this one. Let's move along to whatever Dylan's got next to talk about.
Do you think they'll change the ending so it fits in more with the new game? That's the discussion I've heard listening to some other people.
I don't know if they'll need to, because I don't know if they're going
to. They have to.
Yeah. So again, dodging without getting into spoilers for potential remake stuff and whatever else. As of yet, I see no reason for them to change the ending of this game, because I don't feel like what happens at the end of this game is going to change in remake. I feel like what people are talking about when you say that, I feel like is going to stay the same in Reunion when they eventually go over this stuff. I don't feel like anything from that part is going to change, because they still hint at a lot of that stuff in the first game in remake.
Well, I don't think to try and put it, I don't think Cloud knows how things are at the end of remake.
No, but Cloud doesn't know at that point in the original either. So
yeah, true.
So no, I don't think they're changing anything. I think it's fine. I think it'll be perfectly fine the way it is. But it's a very good game. I actually cried at the end of it. So
That's what I hear. It happens to people.
Yeah, I remember just crying, and then I had someone else I knew in high school who was playing at the same time. I remember coming in and being like, "Oh, fuck it, like I finished it last night, but I like cried my eyes out." He's like, "Me too, man." And then we went and listened to My Chemical Romance in the corner.
I mean, so if I remember correctly, you're like when we were talking about the next game, we were talking about maybe they put this inside of that game, the story elements. Are you glad they're just keeping them separate?
Yeah, I mean, I'm happy to, like, I really like this game. I have a lot of fond memories of this game. So I sometimes I get sick of like, oh, remake everything. But if it's a game I have a lot of fond memories with, I can't help, like, I know it's like sort of, maybe I'm being a bit, silly, but like if it's a game I'm fond of course I'm going to be happy with it. So no, it's a game I'm fond of. So I have no problems with it.
Are you surprised it's coming in like 6 to 8 months?
No, I mean, yeah, I'm surprised, but I don't feel like it's like shadow dropping. Like it's still the end of the year, roughly. It'll probably come out like October-ish probably, right? If I was guessing. October, November. I still don't think anyone puts anything out in December. I just think December's a dead month. Apart from
I think like
December
one
3rd,
game
for Callisto Protocol's coming out December 3rd. I'm like, yo, wow.
I think one game always puts their kind of their flag in like December 12th area, and they're like, this is it. This is where it's like we've had like Jedi Fallen Order was December. I think that was to fit in with.
But they didn't. They didn't make the Game Awards. So
yeah, but nobody cares about the Game Awards. It's just
a lot of people care about the Game Awards.
They don't care about the awards in the Game Awards as well.
Even the game companies care about the Game Awards.
Yeah, because they care about showing their game beforehand.
No.
Once the game's out, the Game Awards is fucking pointless.
No, I think that companies do care because I think there's enough evidence to show that if you do win any of the awards there, especially like Game of the Year.
Do you think
like
sales of It Takes Two went up after it won Game of the Year?
Yep. I'm going to say they did. I'm going to say they saw a significant uprise. I have no evidence for this, but if you're asking, like, do I think? Yes.
You think Sekiro got a massive bump in sales?
No, I don't. Yeah. I feel like everyone who played that wanted to play it at that point. I feel like It Takes Two is a lot different though. Like,
yeah,
like I know we played it and it's like, oh yeah, who hadn't heard of that game? But I still like, there's still people I know. Like,
you'd written an article about it and said why it was so shit.
But I mean, like, there's people even I work with who play video games and stuff, but they don't know. They don't know they never heard that game. You know what I mean? Like sometimes we get so used to this bubble that we exist in that you forget what like the normal gamer, what I mean, like who doesn't ingest news and content like 24/7 and have their eye on nearly every game, which is what we're used to. I know I'm used to definitely. Fucking, if I don't know what game is this, I'm like, what the fuck was this mean? Like, how do I not know about this? Like, how dare you like go under my nose, sort of thing. But
I guess a couple other questions. Are you surprised with these being released so soon, with also Final Fantasy 16 coming in the next 12 months as well? Like, they're pumping out a lot of these games now, where I feel like there's been a long period of not making games. Obviously, they've also got Forspoken sometime this year, so really this side of Square Enix is going to have like 4 major titles in the next 18 months.
I think it's good for Square Enix in a world where they're talking about investing in bloody NFTs and whatever the hell else.
Well, that was my next question. You're surprised there was no Final Fantasy VII NFTs as part of this?
No, because I think the people who make these games don't want anything to do with that, and it's just the business bigwigs that sit in the office and cash the checks that want to do all that sort of stuff. So, but no, I feel like obviously Forspoken, I don't feel like matters. That's like a completely different game. And then I feel like this releases, Crisis Core Remake, not a massive game. The only people who are going to buy that are people like me or the Final Fantasy VII Hardcore. I think even a bunch of people who played Remake will even skip this. I'm like, PSP Remake, don't care. Not everyone, but I feel like it's not going to be like 100% converted.
I feel like there will be a large uptake of people.
I think there will be a large increase, especially people who like Ash maybe who only played Remake and they're like, oh, I never heard it. I never played this back in the day because I never cared about it and never had a so I think it'll sell well.
Also, it's coming to everything.
Yeah, so that helps, including Switch. Like Switch,
which is like, ooh.
But I mean, it was a PSP game, so like the fact is on Switch is like, it's not crazy that it's on Switch considering it's a remake of a PSP game. If the Switch couldn't run a remake of a PSP game, I'd be like, fucking hell, where's the Switch Pro? Like, come on, let's go, guys. Like, we're really in struggle town if you can't play that old game. And then as for like releasing Final Fantasy 16 and Final Fantasy 7, what's the fuck's it called? Rebirth.
Rebirth.
Releasing those in the same year, I still think that's fine because they'll potentially release either 10 to 12 months apart or even like 12 to 14 months apart. You know what I mean? So I feel like that's what I reckon.
One's summer and one's winter, right? So there's like 6 months apart.
Potentially, at the earliest. I think there's going to be
9 months apart at the latest.
Okay. I feel like either way, it's going to be a big enough gap, and they're completely different games again. I know you can be like, they're both called Final Fantasy, but I feel like they're just like literally ones with swords and set during like a steampunk era, you know, and all these sorts of things. And the other ones,
and the other one's got swords.
The other one does have
fantasy era.
The other one, I should have said what I meant to say is the other one has like guns. Is the differentiating?
One has motorcycles, one has horses. Yes,
there you go. Yeah, and the other
one's more high fantasy.
Yes, the other one is a strict high fantasy OG Final Fantasy game. And then the other one's like they don't like. I know they got the same name, but they're very different games. And I presume the combat, which we don't know much about the combat in 16 yet, even though it still looks action based, it's going to have a completely different action system because all Final Fantasy games have different combat systems. Like, that's just what it's been since the day. Like every game's a new combat system. So yeah, I don't feel like that's a problem. It will be good for Square Enix, I think, to get some games rolling because usually they take years and years and years between games. So and they struggle to keep up with Western developers who, you know, like Naughty Dog pushing out Uncharted every 2 to 3 years, and meanwhile, like Square Enix used to publish 1 Final Fantasy game, 2 Final Fantasy games a generation. And they'd be like, oh, why aren't more people buying their games? It's like, well, because you're not fucking making them. Like you put out like 1 or 2 games a generation. Like, come on.
All right. Last question. Are we going to go to Dirge of Cerberus remake?
Fuck, I hope so.
Oh, I doubt it. Even though I was surprised it was even there in like the shitty title screen thing they did, which looked fucking horrible, Square Enix. Just don't do that ever again. But I was like, man, you brought up Dirge of Cerberus? You go, guys. Vincent stands, come out of your holes, wear your gothic looks, get your leather belts out.
Years ago, I didn't own, that was one of the games I didn't own because I played it at a friend's, right? And then I mean like 10 plus years ago. And then someone was like, oh, I'm trying to clear out some of my PS2 games. Like, do you want to see what I got? And I was like, yeah, don't care for this. And they had Dirge of Cerberus, so I brought it off them for like $20. Haven't played it once. I solely brought it because because now I own, at the time I owned that completed my like Final Fantasy VII collection. So yeah, I've still got that. I've got Dirge of Cerberus like hidden away in somewhere. But the game, yeah, for people who don't know, Dirge of Cerberus is like a action spin-off. Vincent, who's like a vampire character from Final Fantasy VII. But the funniest thing is, him and Yuffie are both characters that you can actually never even unlock in the game. So, like, if you don't go to where Vincent is in Final Fantasy VII, you never even have him in your party. Like, it's just, and then they gave him a spin-off. So,
so Wikipedia calls it a action role-playing third-person shooter.
Yeah,
is that accurate?
Yeah,
it was very weird. It was a weird game.
Yeah.
It was
the story is absolutely nonsensical, but
yeah.
And then I want to know if after all this Final Fantasy remake trilogy stuff's done, they'll remake Final Fantasy Advent Children and change the
just redo the movie.
The movie, yeah. Because
isn't apparently the movie is like called Reunion or something?
No, they re-released it. The 4K release, it's like now called like Final Fantasy Advent Children Cross Reunion Space or something like that. But the title at the time made sense because like the storyline in that is actually about like they're trying to reunite with Mother. So like Reunion was sort of that. So I don't know. By the way, I'm a defender of that movie. For years, people were like, this movie's shit. I fucking loved it. I remember when it came out, like 2005, whatever, fucking I was obsessed. Like, used to talk about it so much, like the end fight scene, the music, when spoilers, Sephiroth comes back at the end of that movie, One Winged Angel kicks in, fucking Cloud's like, Sephiroth. I was like, oh, fuck. Let's go. Let's fucking go. So good. Final Fantasy movie, though. I don't know if anyone knows, there's a Final Fantasy movie. Shit. absolutely shit. It's called Spirit,
Oh no, I do know that one.
Spirit
That one
Within,
was
I
Spirit
think.
of Children or something.
Spirit Within,
something-
because it was like nothing to do. It was like it was.
No, it was a
almost
wholly
un-Final-
original story, which is fine because they were like every game's a new story. So
But it was
let's
like
hope-
it was so un-Final Fantasy though.
Yeah.
Like there was nothing.
Yeah. I think
It was
Alec
more of like a
Baldwin's in it.
sci-fi movie than it was Final
Mhm.
Fantasy, from what I can remember.
Yeah, it was terrible. And I got so excited.
So what you're saying is we need to watch it.
It is terrible. I think, and the thing is, I think it came out like 2001, 2, something like that, right? How old would I have been? I was like 10 or 11 when this came out, and I was
2001 or 2002? No way. You were like
8, 9, 10.
no, because you're only a year older than me, so you would have been
I'm born in 92, so
like
if it came
8.
out.
It came out 2001.
There you go. So I was.
So you were like 9.
9. I was like 9. Yeah. And I remember. So by the time I watched it, would have been like, yeah, no, I would have been like 10 though, because I didn't watch it at the cinema. I would have watched it when it came out on VHS or whatever. So like a year or so later. But I remember being like
Fake fan.
super excited for it. I watched it when I was like 10 or whatever, and I could not understand a single thing that was happening in it. Went bored me to smithereens. Went back and tried to watch it when I was older, and I was like, no, not only is this boring, but it's shit. Like, I just not good. So. All right, let's get into some more news. Let's go from talking about stuff I love, like Final Fantasy VII, Advent Children, all these sorts of things. Talk about something that Ciaran loves, called Overwatch 2. So instead of like just handing him the wheels and letting him just like lose his mind and ramble on about everything that happened today, I will give a quick rundown and then pass the from Kotaku and then pass the mic over for Ciaran's thoughts. So Kotaku writes, today Blizzard gave fans a look at how Overwatch 2 will move from its predecessor's standard $60 pricing towards a free-to-play live service model. The reveal event stream also provided at a seasonal release roadmap and the newest hero, Junker Queen. Aaron Keller, Overwatch 2's game director, said the team decided to go free-to-play to ensure the new release would be a living game with seasonal content drops players can look forward to for years to come. Saying, quote, in recent years, we haven't done a good enough job at delivering that for our fans, and we feel their frustration. We took a hard look at our strategy for Overwatch 2 to make sure we could deliver new heroes, new maps, modes, and more to the community on a frequent and consistent basis, end quote. The team plans to bring those updates every 9 weeks through seasonal events. Overwatch 2 production director Paul Haley said players can see what they mean for the game's second beta, which will be playable on Xbox, PlayStation, as well as PC. Question from the audience.
Is it going to be ranked in this beta?
Fuck off. Don't even start. Let me fucking finish. Jesus Christ. There are some.
I was waiting for that shit.
These are some of the updates coming to Overwatch 2 in October and December. There won't be any more loot boxes, though the event teased a battle pass and in-game store for Overwatch 2. Competitive play will have a post-match report giving players a breakdown of their performance. PvE in 2023 will have playable canonical storylines. The game will add Rio, a Portugal-based map. Mythic skins, which are cosmetic skins designed to be a step above legendary skins, will be added, as well as a character charms to display on weapons and banners. The event also unveiled a new origin story and cinematics for its new tank hero, Junker Queen, first seen during the Junkerton escape map reveal trailer. Junker Queen is the first Overwatch character developed specifically for Overwatch 2's 5v5 gameplay. She'll be playable during Overwatch 2's second beta on June 28th. Overwatch 2 is slated for release in early access on October 4th. Ciaran, you had a tweet today. You seem excited. Even I was like, when this event happened, even I was like, I don't know, they're saying some decent things. Like the moment they were like, no more loot boxes, I was like,
There's some like good. When I don't think it was more apparent than ever that people who have enjoyed and played Overwatch have been enjoying a game that's built on infrastructure from 2016 and was a time capsule for the world that was 2016 gaming, where it was loot boxes and that kind of progression and that's way. And then, you know, for Overwatch fans over the years, you've had to kind of watch as Apex Legends and Valorant and Fortnite have come along and they have changed how we look at loot and in-game kind of like progression. And we've seen people have battle passes, and we've seen people have in-game stores, and these kind of higher priced items. And I think Overwatch has just been missing those things, and I've been looking at those things for so long, wishing Overwatch had them. And now to know that that's going to be involved in this free-to-play model, I think it's really exciting for Overwatch fans. Like, just to go from Overwatch hasn't had new content or a new character for 2 years. Like, it's been 2 years of nothing except for the odd skins event, and that's about it. And prior to that, we were only getting new characters, maybe 1 or 2 new characters a year, and that was if we were lucky. With this roadmap, and they've already said, hey, 3 characters on launch, which some weird people have been complaining about. It's only 3 new characters, which is just get over yourselves.
So to put in perspective, 3 new characters at launch is about the last 3 years, 3-4 years.
Yeah,
Overwatch.
yeah, exactly. Three new characters. So it's a new character for every role. They've already got Sojourn as a DPS. We've now got Junker Queen as the tank, and they've said that there's another support character that they're going to announce prior to launch. And then prior to that, and then past that, they've said, look, every season, as Dylan said, 9 weeks, every season is going to come with a new character, a new map, or a new game mode. And they've already committed to the next seasons are going to have a new tank character, and there's 2 new support characters on the way. So they've already established that the 2 roles that don't have as many characters are getting their fulfill of characters. We're going to have new maps. There's at least 30 plus new skins every season. They commented on competitive. I doubt they'll be ranked in the beta, but whatever. But they're now fixing the rank system, so it's not like a granular number rating that you're looking at. It is a tier system within ranks, much like League, Valorant, Apex Legends, which I think is a more conducive way of doing a rank system. I think Junker Queen looks really fun to play, and she does show a lot of elements of the game style design. Game style design of tank heroes for Overwatch. It's really exciting, and I think I've had like this moral dilemma today because Activision Blizzard are still a shit company, but I can't help myself but fucking love the crap out of this game. It just makes me excited to play it and makes me excited to jump in. Not only October 4th, but June 28th.
Is the other beta like, do you have to watch a Twitch stream for 20 hours to get in that, or what?
So this is where you guys are gonna laugh at me and you're gonna hate me.
Yeah, because I'm waiting for some, like, I had to buy a pack of Skittles from Coles and then like enter a code.
No. It's worse than a pack of Skittles. So you can opt in. Currently, the main method too is you can opt in. You have to put down what is your platform of preference because it's on all consoles and PC and everything. And then they've put a note in there that says invites are only based on we're sending out invites depending on what console and platform we are because we need an even spread of everybody on these platforms.
So why wouldn't you say PlayStation and increase your chances of getting it?
Well, because there's another way to guarantee yourself access to the beta.
You had to buy it, right?
Well, I haven't yet, but I'm going to, and I've committed to this, and I'm having the moral dilemma of me giving money over.
Wait, what did you buy?
So they announced afterwards this event, they announced something called the Watch Point Pack, which is in Australia, a $60 bundle.
I was about to say $60, yeah.
$60 bundle where you get 2 skins, like a skin for Cassidy and for Soldier, 2,000 Overwatch League tokens, which lets you buy skins in the game, the premium battle pass for the first season as soon as it comes out, as well as guaranteed access to the June 28th beta. I looked at it and I was like, fuck, I'm buying that. Okay. Yeah. And I think it is, it does... Actually...
No, I knew this was coming. As soon as I read that you had instant access, I was like, I didn't want to say I assumed, but I assumed.
No, look, this is where I tweeted out because I tweeted my the biggest mark for Overwatch this morning, and then I found out about the Watchpoint pack later on today, and that's when I quote tweeted it, and I was like, look, it's worse than I thought. All of the memes about me on Arcade Couch are true. Because me and throwing money at games that I like or enjoy is totally totally on character and on brand, and I'm totally going to do it. I have a lot of hope for Overwatch right now. And I think in turn, it's growing hope for Activision Blizzard to just hopefully become a better company and be a better company long term.
I mean, I have nothing but hope they're going to be a better company going forward because they've literally been brought by a different company who's going to kick out all the
100%.
Like, so.
And I think just thinking about today, I think for me personally, not only am I going to enjoy it and want to buy it anyway, but at the same time, I think, the Overwatch team has been through so fucking much. And their higher management does not fucking help them at all. They had to go through the bullshit recently of, I don't know if we ever talked about it, but the character calculator that Blizzard released that worked out if if the character had like points based on like its cultural identity, its gender identity, what characters, what like age groups it appealed to, like that. And yeah, that was announced for Activision Blizzard, and a lot of the Overwatch team went, what the fuck? We don't need this. We are people with eyes. We know what people want and need, and we can make these own choices ourselves. It's just like so many developers have been crying out that, upper management and higher people in high positions have just been shooting the lower teams in the foot and kind of stopping them. And it's been a hard and, this Overwatch 2 has been a messy development. And for me personally, I think with this kind of roadmap they've laid out and the vision that they've laid out for Overwatch 2, I think it's, put it to a point where I think for me personally, it's worth the $60 to show some support for that team and to, so many people have been shitting on them for so long because of bad communication and poor kind of development updates and lack of content. And finally, that is all seems to be changing and improving. I think it is, for me personally, I think it's a good time for me to show some appreciation back.
Ash, do you have any Overwatch thoughts?
Not really. I mean, it's all nice that they say this is what they want to do, but, there's going to be no loot boxes in Overwatch 2.
I think so. Why is that hard to believe when there's going to be a store and a battle pass to buy?
Because still in the Apex has got those things, and it's still got loot boxes technically.
To me, it sounds like they're leaning towards the Valorant system than Apex, though.
I don't,
How I
just
think
have
so.
no faith.
I think $15-$20 battle pass. They're gonna have a fuck ton. These new skins, whatever their name is, I've already forgot. The one
They've said 30 plus, and then they've got mythic skins, which are the
mythic skins are gonna
from
cost
Apex.
like a butt ton. Like how much do legendary skins cost? Like what do you reckon?
Well, you can't outright buy legendary skins. You just have to roll. So I wouldn't be able to put a price on them. I guess the only thing we've got compatible. The only thing I've got comparable is the breast cancer awareness mercy skin was like $40, $30 to $40, but all of that went to charity. So
yeah, so I was going to chuck out a random
but
number.
I would say
I'm going to say these skins
roughly.
cost like $50-$60. These
I would be not surprised if that was the case.
So mythic skins, $50-$60, $15-$20 battle pass, and then I think you're going to have to buy the characters.
I don't think you have to buy the characters.
I think you'll have to buy the
I think you have to buy skins.
The solo PvE things.
Maybe. Yes, because nowhere in these updates have they mentioned that PvE is free.
Yeah.
So I actually think and I think this is a good way if they do it, they will tie the PvE to the Battle Pass. If you buy the Battle Pass, you get PvE with it. And you have to buy them episodically.
I'm still going to say you have to buy the characters. I'm going to say you can buy it with, like, similar to maybe Apex, where you could potentially earn credits to buy them in the Battle Pass. But if not, you have to.
I don't think Overwatch would work.
Why?
That way. Because Overwatch, you need. Like, the core gameplay.
You only get the
Overwatch.
original characters that are currently in Overwatch.
Yeah.
Nah, I don't
Any
see
new
them
ones
doing
you have to pay for.
Yeah, anything after launch.
Nah, I don't see
Possibly.
Overwatch doing that. Because the thing is, Overwatch use their characters as use new characters as a way and method to evolve and change metas within the game. And they said that within their...
Sounds like something they want people to pay for, right?
No. I highly...
You want to become part of the meta, right?
How's that different? Like even like League of Legends or anything?
How's that
like,
different to any other game?
Any of those games you have to buy
I feel
characters?
like because League has such a different and varied solutions and lots of different. You can buy. There's multiple characters that all fix the same kind of role, like position, whereas Overwatch doesn't have that.
But if they're going to be bringing out more characters, then
If they're going to bring out one every 9 weeks,
I just don't. I don't even then, like down the line, maybe, but I don't see them.
I don't know. I see them.
Locking
I
off
feel like
characters.
they're moving free to play. There has to be some like.
I don't think they can. Like, I just don't. I think because Overwatch is designed to, like, the core basis of Overwatch multiplayer design is to be able to swap characters
To take all your money
counter
via loot boxes.
No.
Okay.
No.
so now they're just going to take your money for characters.
I just think they're going to
Based
take the
on
money
their plan, there's going to be 5 new characters. in the
No.
next year.
The thing is, I feel like they're going to have more people spending money because of the store and the battle pass.
And the characters.
No, I just think that the store and the battle pass is a revenue stream that they haven't had. You know, they had
But
loot
then
boxes
they could
to
also
buy,
have the revenue
but
stream.
now
of
you can
characters.
turn around and say, "Hey, spend $10, $15 on this skin that for this character you really like." And I feel like more people are going to be able to do that rather than buy loot boxes and stuff. And battle passes every 9 weeks. That means a new battle pass every 9 weeks
Yeah, but
of at least $10 to $15 every 9 weeks.
yeah, well, I'm saying 15, 20 because that's what like Apex and Fortnite.
No. That's the sorry. So 15-20 is definitely the
Australian
the
equivalent.
yeah the where it's at. But that's the point I see it at, and I personally just don't think. I think if they were going to lock characters, they already would have announced that. They already would have had to have said that because Overwatch Blizzard is not in a position, and the Overwatch team is not in a current position to last second drop a bomb like, "Hey, characters are locked." I don't think they could possibly do that. I think that is too.
If there's no characters locked at launch, they don't have to say anything.
The thing is, I don't.
If the
no,
plan
because
is down
they've
the
already
line for the characters to be
the way they're
unlocked.
advertising it in their seasonal timelines is like it's guaranteed. Like it's just part of it is a new season, new character.
That's
comes
just
out.
your interpretation because
I don't see that. The thing is, right? The Overwatch team is currently in a negative position. They can't be doing underhanded stuff. They can't be smoke and mirrors.
it's not
and stuff.
underhanded.
It is though. It is if
No,
you.
it's not.
for a
Apex
community-
releases a character every month.
Yeah, but that's
every season.
But that is the way Apex has always been.
Yeah, but Overwatch has never been a free-to-play game before now.
No. But you're never. But then you got to turn around and say, "Oh, by the way, all these characters that you love and play, you're going to need to start unlocking."
We're saying
them
for
or
new
paying
ones.
No, new ones we're saying.
I don't.
We're,
No,
we're,
I don't
say-
even
we're
think
saying
for new
at
ones.
launch
No shot.
all the characters are unlocked.
No shot.
And then
No shot.
9 weeks later when they introduce a new one.
No shot.
Yep.
I would almost make a classic Explosion Network bet on that not being a thing.
All right, what do you want to bet?
You have to buy me the battle pass at the end of the year.
Okay. I'm saying the bet is that they are purchasable, but I'm still like my asterisk, as I was saying before, is that they can be purchasable.
New characters.
Yeah, new characters, and they can be purchasable with credits
You
or
can-
currency that you can earn in game. But I'm just saying you have to use some currency to unlock them. They're not just straight
Yeah.
free.
That's okay. What would you guys like if you are correct?
You not to play Overwatch for 9 weeks.
Damn.
You have to buy me a battle pass for a good game.
Sure. Then I'll buy you an Overwatch 2 battle pass.
Maybe you will. I reckon I'll download it.
Come on, no. I will download it on console. I'll download it on PlayStation. I
think it's
would love to
crossplay
for you
anyway,
guys.
like, right?
Yeah, it is crossplay, but yeah, and it's going to be content's going to be crossplay as well. So
It's
like
crossplay,
all skins and stuff is crossplay. But yeah, I would.
No, it's cross
I would-
progression.
cross progression and crossplay. Yeah, it's both. Because Overwatch 1 is crossplay.
I don't know why it
currently.
wouldn't be
Okay,
both.
yeah. So I wasn't sure
Yeah,
if cross progression.
Overwatch 1 is already crossplay. So yeah, no. I would. I think it'd be pretty cool. We should play.
I'm gonna give it a go. I feel like I can't not give it a go. It's free. It's not like I have to buy it.
Exactly, 100%. You're not even going to have to buy the characters. So yeah.
Oh, won't it launch? Like when no.
Oh, if it comes to Game Pass, then all the characters will be unlocked. By the way, that's important. Game Pass will have the battle pass. So.
All right, let's get into something else. All of Capcom Showcase. Let's go over this. There were some interesting things here, some stuff that we probably don't care about, but it's fine. So just quickly run down some things. Coming from Press Start. So there's a brand new trailer for Monster Hunter Rise. Sunbreak opened the show. The demo's out right now. So this is the big expansion for Monster Hunter. Monster Hunter Rise. So I can't remember when the fuck this is coming out. I don't know if they had released it. I don't think they did. Let me check the end of this trailer. They didn't. Looks cool. Bunch of new monsters. The game's fun. Probably not gonna play it, but anyway. Then you got Exo Primal trailer. So let's dive into this for a sec. Because I know Ash watched this. I don't know if Ciaran, if you don't watch this showcase at all, but
I did not watch it.
That's all right. So do we want to play Exo Primal, Ash, or no?
Maybe?
Because I watched the trailer and go, this looks both awful and yet something I feel like if I was playing with someone like...
It looks awful, but yet I've already seen Jurassic World Dominion.
Yeah.
So.
There's just so many There's like a part where like big like Triceratops or whatever is like corner cucking him and I'm like, you know what? I want to play this ridiculous game where there's like...
I want to be
corner cucked by a Triceratops. So yeah, this game's ridiculous. I kind of want to play it, but I talked about it to you after like recording Plat before Plat. What did you say it looked like? The Earth Zone,
giant bug one,
the giant bug one, yeah.
Earth Defense,
that one, yeah. Which it does kind of, yeah, kind of does because there's like all these dinosaurs, like
Earth Defense Force.
That's it. Yeah.
That's the franchise, yes.
Then they had Dragon's Dogma show up, and they said that the game's 10th anniversary is happening, and they didn't announce anything until today. So just quickly skipping over. So today, Capcom held a Dragon Dogma anniversary event, writes Press Start. And whilst the majority of the event was spent talking about the history of Dragon's Dogma, it ended with a very special announcement. Dragon's Dogma 2 is in development, which has long been awaited by fans. The game will be developed using RE Engine, which is well known for most recently released Resident Evil games and should make for a visually stunning game. The original Dragon's Dogma released on PS4 and Xbox 360 in 2012 and it was well received. I've never played Dragon's Dogma. I know people love it though. So I don't think any of us here have, so I don't think any of us particularly care. But I did see like people I follow who were getting really hyped when live tweeting when the Capcom event on, and they're like, Dragon's Dogma, it's like, oh my god, they're gonna, and then all they announced is like, hey, 10th anniversary, we're doing like a movie, like a doco about the game's history, moving on, and everyone was like, fuck. They just like teased it, only to announce something like 4 days later. Fucking love that shit. And then they got into a bunch of Resident Evil stuff at the back end of the show, which was the, meat and bones that most of us were here for in the Capcom show. So, firstly, they announced Resident Evil Village Gold Edition, which is going to include the DLC, which you will be able to buy separately, of course, if you already own the game. So the first part, the single player part of it, is a separate story thing or whatever that takes place after Village called Shadow of Rose. Now, I'm going to have to talk Resident Evil Village spoilers here to go over this quickly. So if you don't want to hear, if you still haven't played Village, skip ahead like a couple minutes or something like that, but I do want to quickly touch on this.
Ashley's been holding up for this version of it. So Ash, if you want to deafen yourself now, we will we'll get this over quickly, mate.
Yes, just skip ahead a couple minutes. So at the end of... Fucking hell, he takes his headphones off. Put them on. I'm not used to seeing you without them. Your head looks weird.
I know, it looks very weird.
At the end of Resident Evil Village, Ethan does save his baby. He ends up dying in the process, and then the spoilers. Oh, he says spoilers. Then the game skips ahead time, and you get to see Rose now grown up. She's like a teenage girl or whatever. She's visiting the grave of her father. She's got some like agent with her who's like, you can tell who's like her bodyguard, but not really her bodyguard. It's like there to keep her in check because she's got superpowers, which is the whole thing for Resident Evil. The ladies, they want to kill Ethan's baby because she's like a mystical baby. I can't get into all the village lore. The game's intense. Anyway, this Shadow of Rose is going to take place in that we saw. So you're going to play Rose. She is using her powers to go into the mind. She's using her powers to go into the mind of something. I can't remember the actual name of the object. It doesn't say here. Anyway, she's using the mind to go into that, and the game will take place inside the mind of this creature, which she's exploring, looking for answers, and that's why she's going to like run into a version of herself and all this sort of stuff. It's going to be a third-person action game. I'm pretty keen. I think there's potential for this to be cool. Psychic powers and guns and stuff like that is definitely interesting me. Ciaran, what do you like? Did you finish Village? You did finish Village, right? No.
Yeah, I finished
Yeah.
Village.
So
I finished Village.
How do you feel about this playing as Rose and this?
No, I'm interested. I think Village definitely ended off on a kind of what I thought was a very much a crescendo for Ethan's story and for the story that had been told across Resident Evil 7 and Resident Evil 8. Or Resident Evil Village, however you want to look at it. So to see that and to see that we're going to be in Rose's shoes for a bit, I think that's I think Resident Evil 7 had some amazing DLC. The Resident Evil 7 DLC is like top notch and like really well put together. So I have they've earned goodwill on that side of things. So hopefully it should be good.
Yeah, it's different enough, which some of the Resident Evil 7 DLC was as well, like story wise and stuff. Like or gameplay wise as well was quite different. So I'm keen for this. And then the other thing they announced as part of the gold / expansion pass that you'll get is there's going to be a mercenaries mode edition thing. You can play as Lady Dimitrescu and you can play as Ethan. He's back from dead. And then the other thing was they're adding a third person mode to the main game. However, you can only play it if you've already beaten the game. Which is
finally you can see Ethan's face.
The camera, you try panning around and he just has no face. It's like,
oh my god! Or they're gonna do what they do in the character artwork, which is they have this shadow
over his face.
Yeah, if they just have that for the entire game, that'll be annoying.
That'd be so good, actually.
I think if I did that and I started the game, I'd actually want a refund. I'd be like,
I'm keen. I want to know what they do. I want to know, like, because now that
I want to know. That's the thing, right? I want to know, but it'd be one of those things that if that motherfucker doesn't have a face, I'd be like, I want my money back.
Because even like
I paid for Ethan face.
Even it's funny, like that's the weird thing. Like the game's first person, but of course there's times where the game has like third person like cutscenes and stuff. And it's like they're always like perfectly like there's a shadow covering Ethan's face or like a branch or something. Yeah. So then they went into Resident Evil.
There's Resident Evil Reverse coming as well. Right?
Oh fuck yeah, who cares? Like
just so people know.
No one cares, right? Literally, do you know a small amount of fans?
I don't even actually remember what it was. I just remembered people.
The amount of people who care about Mercenaries mode, small, but I know some people do care about Mercenaries mode, right? The amount of people who care about Reverse, absolutely no one. I guarantee no one cares about that. It's a multiplayer mode thing, right? No one cares. You know when Resident Evil's done a good multiplayer game?
Never.
Correct. All right, so then we got Resident Evil 4 Remake, or they're just calling it Resident Evil 4. They haven't officially titled it Remake, but it makes it easier. Not much different to the first trailer that we saw during the Summer Game Fest thing. They did show actually a quick snippet of like proper gameplay of Ethan walking through forest at the start of the game before he arrives at the village. Very creepy, looks great, like very beautiful. Like the trailer, like everything they're saying. I think there's going to be a lot more change in this game than people are expecting. That's the one thing I would sort of say going forward, because in a world where they say something, I can't remember the exact wording, but when they talk about the game, they do say stuff about updating the game and changing the redesign.
I feel like it's gonna have the same kind of brushstrokes done with what they've done with the previous remakes.
Yeah, exactly.
Where they have adjusted a lot of the story. Hopefully, there's less dumping a president's daughter into bins, or less her being stolen by men in hooded clothes.
No, that's probably still gonna happen.
Just, I don't know. I feel like they could make Ashley. That's it. I feel like they could just make Ashley a more capable character, or just a little bit less of a damsel in distress. I think that would be I feel like that'd be a good touch for bringing the game forward.
So we didn't get too much on it. And then the final thing they announced was that Resident Evil 2, Resident Evil 3, Resident Evil 7 Biohazard, all of those dropped on PS5, Xbox Series XS with 4K support, high frame rates, ray tracing, all these things. And then if you play the games on PC, they just got a free patch. It's free for the PS5 version anyway, but just like it's a patch compared to a new file. So that's cool. If you love replaying those games, haven't played them before, if they all play at 60 and stuff, I haven't seen if Digital Foundry anyone's done like a video on them, but free updates to good games is never a bad thing. So I didn't mind this Capcom showcase. As I said, like there was a couple of things at the start. It didn't go too long. Sort of gave all the stuff that people cared about. At the end, I think the only thing was that dickish tease for Dragon's Dogma fans only to announce something a couple of days later. I think even as someone who doesn't care, I'm like, come on, like it's a bit mean, I feel. And now quickly want to run down the Xbox Extended show as well, just to point out a couple of things in this. So they did show off gameplay. So for people who don't know, this was a couple of days after the Xbox Bethesda showcase. This one was more, let's spend 5-6 minutes talking to the developer. Let's have a developer walkthrough. Let's actually show some gameplay. This is the thing that most people complain about with showcases. This is for people who just want trailer. This isn't it. This is the talking. So I thought it was really well done. I liked it. I liked the pacing. I liked the way it was put together. Very good, but not everything here we need to go over. But so they had first gameplay reveal of Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Looked meh to me, to be completely honest. Valheim is coming to PC Game Pass in 2022 and it's coming to Xbox in 2023. Microsoft Flight Simulator, they did an update. So they did a walkthrough video with what the fuck are they called? I can't remember. I don't even know if it says here, to be honest. But they did like a walkthrough of like a museum thing or whatever. And the dude who, like the head dude of the game's like, oh, I want to put that plane. That was pretty cool just to see, like, you could tell he's passionate about planes, which is obviously. Fall Guys is having a Halo crossover. So off the Xbox blog here they write, Fall Guys and 343 Industries are partnering to bring Master Chief and so much more to the Blunder Dome with the Spartan Showdown event from June 30th to July 4th, with new challenges, fancy cosmetics, and legendary items hitting the store as part of this event. Beings around the world can grab the goods and get into the action to raise their wardrobe levels to elite. So, of course, Fall Guys launches June 21st, I think, right? I think that's, I don't know if I can tell from it. Yeah, I think it's like 21st or 22nd. It's next week. And it's this week as you're listening to it. Comes out on Xbox, Switch, the new PC release, Epic Game Store only, of course, at that point. Relaunches on PlayStation, cross-play, free-to-play. Fall Guys is about to get good. Is the...
Do we know if all the skins are going to be, like, across
They have to be. Like, it's no different to Fortnite, right?
But, I mean, you could just replace... Like, if I'm on PlayStation, Kieran's on Xbox, yep. I'm playing with my Ratchet skin. Will it come as Ratchet on Kieran's Xbox?
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah,
Ratchet's going to be on the Xbox.
Yeah. Based on Fortnite stuff, yeah. Like, there's no reason that if you will be able to play with Master Chief, technically, through Fall Guys on your PlayStation. I would be surprised if they've changed this from Fortnite. So,
will I be able to earn Master Chief on my PlayStation?
That's an interesting
I would presume so, yeah. I'm going to say yes. I'm going to say, there's no reason I would say no. But you know when you can find out?
21st.
Yeah, this week. No, actually, no, the 30th when the event starts. The event doesn't start right at the start. And then the other thing the main thing I wanted to shout out from this is and I suggested you watch it. I don't know if you went and watched it, but the Stalker video from the team making that game, that they showed at the very end of this showcase was just absolutely heart-wrenching. So they had a very well paced the show. They ended it. They're like, here, and look, I'll credit to Microsoft because they didn't play around. You know, they were like, war, fucked up, horrible things happening. You know, they didn't like try. They didn't actually say fucked up, but I can't remember the exact wording. But I feel like the way they said leading into the video, the wording, it was very much like, this is wrong. Like, we're standing by our partners over here. So. And then they played this video. Let's see if I can get up. Play it here quickly because I didn't get that up. But they played this video from what's the devs team? GSC? No, GSC. Yeah, there we go. Played a video from them where they're talking about what they're having to do at the moment, their living conditions and all these sorts of things. It's horrible. Like, showing, they give you a warning at the start, being like, you know, like, this video may show distressing things, and to a degree, I think it does when people are talking about the animals being dead and like people living in toilets, and you just see what their country looks like at the moment. Like, yeah, did you watch it, Ash? After I told you to?
No, I didn't watch it.
Anyone watch it? Ciaran, did you watch it? No, fucking. These all have absolutely no heart. So I'll say again to you.
I could feel bad with that. Actually,
I'll say again to you and everyone listening, if you haven't had a chance to watch this video, I think it is must watch. I think it gives you a really good idea of not only what's happening in Ukraine. Like I honestly feel like this video, even if you're someone who doesn't care about video games, like you could show this to your like family member and be like, look what's happening in Ukraine. Like, look what the fuck these people are going for. Because at the end of the day, even though they're talking about making a game, this is just their day job. You know what I mean? Like, and they're just talking about these are the people who are just trying to live their lives. And you got people like showing footage of their just absolutely like bomb torn houses. People like talking about like rushing to bomb shelters between like hours of making the game. There's part here where the narrative designer says stuff like, it's kind of hard to write missions about killing people when, you know, this is happening, which is like, yeah, like Stalker is a fucked up dark game. How the fuck are you writing a fucked up dark game when you like what's happening in your country? You have people at the end who have like joined the Ukrainian army, like saying like, you know, can't wait to release the game once we win the war. Like there's like a level of like sort of passion and stuff. So yeah, I suggest everyone watch it. I think it was a very well put together video, and I much appreciated Xbox showcasing that in their show. In fact, I kind of wish they put it in their main show. I feel like it would have been a great point, but that's my only, if I had to.
It's a bit better than Jeff Keighley's.
Oh, way better than Jeff Keighley's. Like, oh, Ukraine, like, yeah,
these
teams,
replaced people.
Yeah,
they wanted to put their game out there.
Yeah, didn't want to say anything bad. Yeah, fucking Jeff is really bad.
You could have replayed like an old trailer. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that still would have been something. Just do something. Yeah. So anyway, check that out. All right, Ash, you've played some Steam Next Fest demos. Lead us down a journey. What have you been playing?
I finally got to play a little bit of Cult of the Lamb.
Yeah?
One of my most anticipated games of the year.
Yeah, Australian team.
And it has gone straight to the top of the list.
Yeah, how good?
It is fantastic. Like, it plays like something like a Death's Door or a Tunic, but it's faster.
Yeah.
I would say that's the thing. It's like sped up a little bit. It's got the like room-esque things from Binding of Isaac, where you go through a zone and there's all these different rooms. Like I guess any dungeon.
And
crawler,
procedurally
really.
generated, like those elements.
Yeah, very much. But then there's also a base building element to it as well.
Yeah.
Which you only get a taste of a little bit of it. It's a very short demo. I feel like it was only 15 minutes. It might have been longer for all I know. It just went by. The time feel like it flew by. So I really enjoyed it. I think it's so much fun. Very adorable as well, even though it's got this cultish theme to it as well. Yeah. It's I think it's currently sitting at the top of the Steam next Fest list, like is the most popular, most wish list.
Australian indies, Australian developers the last couple of years, nothing but bangers when it comes to indies. Like, yeah, it's fucking mad. Love it.
Here we go. This is the Game of the Year contender. So, as I mentioned on our other episode during the week, I played a bit of Wrestle Quest. Mm-hmm. That demo was quite lengthy, as opposed to Cult of the Lamb.
You actually stopped that one, right?
Yeah, I stopped. Like, it kept going. I don't know how much longer it had to go in the demo, but I felt like I'd had my fill, and I was like, especially if I'm not progressing, if I'm not keeping this progression, I'm not.
No, there's a point where
don't want to replay too much of it.
Yeah.
But that's super fun. It's a turn-based RPG with a wrestling theme over the top of it, but also it's set in a toy world, so interacting with all these other toys, and everybody wants to be, Macho Man Randy Savage, and there's these massive statues to them. It's a fun story. Interesting game, like turn-based mechanics in which you have to actually pin your wrestling opponents. Like if you're fighting a monster or something, you can just kill it or whatever. But the actual wrestlers you need to pin to eliminate them.
I love.
So it's like an extra mechanic.
Every time I see more about this game, like ever since it was announced, I'm like, fuck, I can't wait for this game. Like I haven't seen anyone say anything that's like, well, I discovered like this is broken, or there's nothing. As soon as they announced it, they're like, it's an RPG set in a wrestling world, and we've got real voice actors from like 80s legends, and everyone wants to be Randy Savage. I'm like, Yes, I will play this game.
Well, it's interesting because from what I played the demo, there's like 2 coalescing storylines. Like you follow this one guy who's been following wrestling his entire life, wants to be Macho Man, calls himself the Machoist Man, Machoist, who is completely oblivious to the business and like, he's a complete mark. And then you've got the other storyline where you played like a tag team on the other side of the world or whatever, who's one of the guy's dads like runs a wrestling company, and then like very inside it's like, oh, we take the losses, we're the jobbers at the moment, and the other tag teams like bragging or whatever, and they're like, yeah, well, if it was an actual shoot fight, then we'd definitely kick ass and that kind of stuff. So yeah, very insider terms and that kind of stuff. So that's really enjoyable. Then I play. What else did I play? Played Grindstone. I don't know if you've heard of this game, Dylan.
I played many of hours of Grindstone back in the day. Yes,
there was a demo of the first 15 levels.
Okay.
I was playing that for a good 2 hours. It was fantastic. I need to get my whole.
I don't know if I could download the game on my phone and see what level I got at, but I think I got into like hundreds or something, right? And I looked up to see how long the game is and went, no, I can't. Like, because I was like, that game is very, very long. Like, and that's the thing for people who don't know, Grindstone it was released. I think it was one of the launch Apple Arcade, or was it Apple Arcade, or was it just iOS? Anyway, I think it was Arcade. I think it was one of the launch Apple Arcade games. Yeah. But it's a match. Is it 4 or 3?
No, it's just like match.
Just match
multiples.
Yeah. But it has like
just trying to match as many as you can.
Yeah. But it has like a
then it's got like
storyline in the background with this guy's like trying.
There's storyline. And then you have to match certain things and try and get combos, because you can also get these stones on the map that let you switch colors for your combo. It helps grow it. And
very addicting. But the thing was, especially like on phone, more so than I guess PC, was I played hours and hours and hours upon it. You got no ads. You got no pop-up. Like, I'll spend $1 to get to play more, whatever. It was just like, hey, here's a video game. It's a good video game. Yeah. Love that. That's fantastic. Great. Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm probably going to buy that on an Epic Game Store because it's out there on Epic Game Store right now. So.
You can buy an iPhone and play it for free, Ash.
Nah. It's like, why isn't it on Android? Come on, let me give me my money, because then I'll be playing it all the time. It's crazy. And then I played Escape Academy.
Yep.
In which that's the Skybound Games game.
Yep.
Where you are recruited into a school that like focuses on escape rooms.
Yeah.
So you go into like you start off at the demo in like a really basic
Did all the
one, like a half-assed one. They've like the lights don't actually work on all of them. There's like a little note saying just pretend, like the clock doesn't work, and that's a clue. And it's like, pretend this clock says 12 o'clock. They don't even bother but then that's all just setting to like recruit you into the major part of the school. I really enjoyed that. I think it's a lot of fun. It's like, I don't know, if you're good at escape rooms, maybe you'll be able to get through them. If you don't blame the actual escape room on you not being able to solve it, then you would actually enjoy it.
By the way, if you don't understand what we're hinting at, listen to this week's episode of Arcade Couch Between the Cushions, where this is very much an inside joke to do with Ciaran's experience in an escape room.
There is the option to like get hints and stuff, but at the end of every level, there's like a report card. So, like telling you how well you did, and like obviously if you use hints, you get a lower grade and that kind of stuff. So, it's super fun. I enjoyed like solving a lot of the puzzles, and like very frustrating when I got to the end and didn't solve the last one, but then it let me go. They gave me the option to do it in like another 5 minutes, and I was like quickly found the thing that I need to find to get the last piece of the puzzle. So that's what I've been playing so far. I've got a few other demos that I want to check out, but we'll see how this weekend goes.
That's some good stuff.
Also, I played one level of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Shredder's Revenge.
Where'd you download it? On your
Game Pass.
Yeah, your PC. Yeah.
On my PC, yeah.
Yeah, I have to download it, give it a go. I've had everyone's like, the game's great. I'm like, yes, I'm sure it is.
I know. I would. My only thing is, I thought it'd be faster, but that might just be the character. I was playing with Donatello.
I know those games aren't like super fast beat 'em ups. Like,
why were you playing with Donnie?
The range. Got the range. Also, Donatello is a great Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle.
You picked the worst of the four.
Oh my god.
What? He's the one who solves everything.
I'm not saying he's bad, but he's the worst of the four.
Who's your favorite then?
Leo. It goes Leo, Raph, Mikey, Donnie.
Yeah, my favorite's Raph, so.
April, way down, Casey Jones.
What, Casey Jones down the bottom?
Yeah, Casey sucks. Yeah, Casey sucks.
No,
Spoilers, Casey Jones is not unlocked at start.
Whoa.
For all those people going in wanting to play Casey Jones to start off with.
Bait and switch. Not getting my money. Oh, shit. Before we wrap up, I just wanted to quickly talk about Go Fest, which I didn't last episode. So Pokemon Go Fest happened. It costs $20 Australian for the ticket. So I just want to give my mini thoughts on the event.
Didn't you get jibbed? That was your thing?
Yeah, I always get jibbed in these events, which is my problem. And this is a critique a lot of people have. So I feel like, here's the thing. When you pay $20 for an event, I feel like it's not I do feel like there's a sense of like, hey, I should like at least get a decent amount of shinies. I'm paying $20 for this event. Like it would be a lot different. So at the same time, they had heightened like things for people who weren't paying, but they weren't like the same if you paid for a ticket, right? If you're paying $20, I feel like it should be great. I don't feel like I got nearly enough shinies really, and this happened last time. But then you'll read about people like who played for less time than I did, or whatever, getting like 2-3 times the amount. Stuff like that. And I'm like, I don't know. Like, I don't know if this is like totally fair. And then my other criticism is that I really feel like, now I don't mind the day-to-day, Pokemon, just like you do your usual tasks, you catch some things or whatever else. But I really feel like Niantic needs to get to a level where they need to make these events just a lot more exciting and stuff like that, because they're no different. So Pokemon Go Fest is a worldwide event. You buy a ticket. You can play wherever you want. There's like certain spawns that happen. They change the spawns every hour for these events and stuff like that. But I feel like it would be a lot cooler is if they had an actual story or more in-game event happening or something that just made it feel more epic, like an actual something cool sort of happening here right now. Like everyone in the world's playing this thing. I don't know, like it was fine the first year. I was like, it's just a worldwide event. We haven't done this before. I was like, cool, whatever. But now I'm like, I don't know. I feel like you should do, especially for $20. I feel like you should be getting a little bit more bang for your buck, especially since, as at least what I've seen, like written around, like on the Reddits and the forums and Pokemon Go places, that they did an event the week after this, so this past weekend, which was just a normal, like like random event, which they do. And that had a lot higher success rate and happiness from people when it wasn't Pokemon Go Fest. And this wasn't a paid event. This was just an in-game event that everyone was like, this is cool. I really like the way this event worked. I got more shinies and stuff like that. I'm like, how do you get more shinies from a normal event than a 3-hour normal event than a 2-day, $20, 8-hour a day, 16 hours total fucking catching if you want to do it that way event? Like,
maybe they caught all the Chinese.
It's fucking bullshit. So, I mean, it's not bullshit. Like, I still had fun. Like, it was fun to be out and about. There's definitely, like, even in Launceston here, it's like, there's just, like, a butt ton of people. Like, I could still see, mostly around the city park. And there was just groups of people. You can tell everyone's playing Pokemon Go because they're walking in groups, staring at their phones. They have their phones plugged into their portable chargers. You know what a Pokemon Go player looks like on, like, community days and stuff like that. It's not hard to spot. I see videos of people playing in Melbourne and Brisbane and these locations, like, it's not hard. Like, when these events happen, it's for the people, like, every now and then, like, if someone doesn't realize Pokemon Go is still a thing, it's like, Pokemon Go is still pretty popular. So, yeah, that's my, like, one criticism on that event, I'd say. For $20, I just feel like I should be cooler, more exciting, give you a bit more to do than just rather like, I want to catch shinies, and then just catch. You're doing that any other day, but then if you don't increase shinies, it's like, whatever. So.
Should have gotten more from my $20 loot box, yeah.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's like a $20 loot box, so. Outrageous. Anyway, that will do it for this week's episode of Arcade Couch. Let us know any comments, questions, concerns. You've got your thoughts on Overwatch, your thoughts on Final Fantasy VII Reunion, Remake 2, Part 2, whatever you're talking about, Pokemon Go, shiny rates, any of that. ExplosionNetwork.com/Discord, ExplosionNetwork.com/ Twitter. Make sure you check out explosionnetwork.com for all the other shows, news, content, reviews. And if you liked this episode and thought it was worth $1, head on over to explosionnetwork.com/support to drop as little as $1 on our Ko-fi page. And until next week, same time, same couch. Goodbye.